In the dead of a Russian winter, December 1916, a body was pulled from the frozen waters of the Neva River. The man had been poisoned, shot multiple times, beaten, and finally thrown into the icy depths. His name was Grigori Rasputin. According to some, even drowning was what ultimately killed him, after everything else had failed. But Rasputin's death was only the final chapter in a life surrounded by shadows, mystery, and fear. A peasant, a healer, a sinner, a prophet, a devil. How could one man embody all these things at once? To understand Rasputin, we must go back to the very beginning. Grigori Yefimovich Rasputin was born in 1869 in the remote Siberian village of Pokrovskoe. The harsh, frozen land was home to superstition, suffering, and silence. Rasputin was an uneducated child, prone to visions and strange behaviors. He claimed to have healing powers. People whispered about miracles. Others said he was touched by madness. At an early age, Rasputin left his family and began wandering from monastery to monastery, seeking something, God perhaps, or maybe something darker. Eventually, he joined a mystical sect, rumored to practice self-flagellation and sexual rituals as forms of divine worship. Whether fact or fiction, Rasputin embraced a life where sin and salvation walked hand in hand. He arrived in St. Petersburg around 1905, and the city was in turmoil. Russia was bleeding from war, political unrest, and social chaos. But its upper classes were obsessed with mystics, mediums, and the occult. Rasputin, tall, wild-eyed, unwashed, and charismatic, drew attention immediately. People said he could hypnotize with a glance. He read minds, he cured illnesses, and soon the rumors reached the royal family. Tsar Nicholas II and his wife Alexandra had one great weakness. Their son, Alexei, was a hemophiliac. A simple bruise could kill him. The boy was the heir to the Russian throne, and his condition was a secret held tightly behind palace walls. Desperate and out of options, Alexandra turned to Rasputin. What happened next remains unexplained. Rasputin met the young boy, prayed with him, and within hours the child's bleeding stopped. Some claimed it was coincidence. Others said Rasputin used hypnosis. But to the Empress, Rasputin predicted that if he were to die at the hands of nobles, the Romanov dynasty would fall within 2 years. A prophecy or a threat? Either way, it happened. On the night of December 29, 1916, a group of aristocrats led by Prince Felix Yusupov invited Rasputin to a private gathering. They served him wine and pastries laced with cyanide. He ate, he drank, he smiled. But nothing happened. Panicked, they shot him in the chest. He fell, but minutes later rose to his feet. They shot him again. He fell once more. Still, he moved. They beat him, shot him in the head, and dragged his body outside. Finally, they threw him into the frozen river. When his corpse was found, the autopsy revealed water in his lungs. Rasputin had died not from poison nor bullets, but from drowning. Even in death, he refused to surrender. Weeks later, the monarchy began to collapse. The Tsar abdicated. Revolution spread like wildfire. By 1918, the entire royal family was executed. Rasputin had predicted it all. But his story didn't end there. His body was dug up and burned by revolutionaries who feared it might become a symbol. Witnesses said the corpse sat upright in the fire, screaming. Scientists later explained it was likely the muscles contracting, but the legend had already taken root. Some believe Rasputin never died at all, that he escaped, or that the man killed was a decoy, that his soul still haunts the halls of Russian history. Who was Rasputin? A sinner who thought himself a saint? A healer with a heart full of darkness? Or a mirror of the empire that gave him power, beautiful, tragic, and doomed? One thing is certain. Grigori Rasputin was a man the world could not forget, and maybe was never meant to. If you enjoyed this tale from the shadows of history, subscribe for more mysteries, legends, and forgotten truths. Leave a comment. Was Rasputin a monster or a misunderstood prophet?